Her husband was finding it difficult to get work. In desperation, she turned to Paul Nicholson for £1,500 in loans. The interest and penalties meant that her debt rose very quickly to £15,000.
Paul Nicholson was part of a violent ghost economy, one fueled by a lack of credit. The recession has meant that companies previously willing to lend to those on lower incomes have either gone bust or have had to tighten their lending criteria, leaving many families feeling desperate.
Due to this tightening, it's estimated that up to 850,000 people have lost access to this subprime credit in the last 2 years.
The clouds are sort of gathering and creating circumstances which are actually making loan sharking rife in particular communities. Those companies who do provide subprime lending are pulling back, leaving a vacuum which basically hasn't been filled by any other regulated provider. Hence, the loan sharks pour in and attack their prey.
It's thought that up to 200,000 people in Britain could now be in debt to loan sharks.
It's not how high the interest rates are that makes them illegal. In fact, there are no limits to how much interest they can charge. It's whether they've got a license to run a money lending business or not that puts them on the wrong side of the law.
Always asked, how much do we owe now? Never got a straight answer.
Robert Reynolds had, for that initial £500 loan, taken from Debbie Wilson in interest and penalty payments, £88,000.
The thing is that illegal lending is not enforceable in law. People don't get paperwork, they don't understand how much money they've got to pay back. And when it comes to collecting the money, the only way for the illegal lender to do that is through fear and intimidation.
There are clearly huge profits to be made from lending to desperate communities. But just imagine how much more a violent loan shark could make with an air of legitimacy. What if, for instance, they managed to obtain a consumer credit licence? It's up to the Office of Fair Trading to ensure that this doesn't happen. How does someone go about applying for a consumer credit licence?
They apply to us setting out what categories of business they want to engage in, and they have to show us that they're what's called under the statutory test a fit person, and that means that they don't have convictions, for example, for fraud, dishonesty or violence, or there's no record against them that they've breached consumer protection legislation. Provided they satisfy us that they are fit, then they will receive a licence from us.
But how robust is that system? How sure can we be that dangerous loan sharks don't have licenses? Panorama has learned that the system is not as good as we might expect.
This is John Kiley. He was already making millions as a dangerous loan shark in Manchester when he managed to obtain a consumer credit licence from the Office of Fair Trading. And he used that licence to create the image of a legitimate lender. For his customers, though, that was far from reality.